Welcome to Sewing Out Loud, the official podcast of Zede Sewing Studio. Here are your hosts, Zede and Mallory.
Sewing Out Loud. Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Mallory Donahue.
And I'm Zede Donahue, and we're arguing about how we're going to present this podcast to you.
It happens every time before the podcast.
Most recently I just put up it was a screenshot of you and I mirroring each other.
Yeah.
It was a live video on the zigzaggers, but it's like, that's scary.
Well, and people are like, oh, this is just like sympathetic mirroring, like in psychology. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Well, but that is. I mean, they do call it that.
But it's deeper.
Well, I don't know if you're coming from a psychologist point of view, this is what I believe. I don't know if somebody can correct us, but what happens is, as a baby, I will mimic you, and then you will mimic me. So, like you said, we just have one brain left.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm just saying it is mirroring, but it's
there's a
it's not like strangers or
no. There's a mirroring to manipulate people, right?
Yes.
So like, I don't know what it's called. It's like non-mirroring. Like you're talking very angrily or something, so I should talk very calmly because you will mirror me, right?
One time I was like, well, okay, I don't even know if that's a good story. Anyway, never mind.
Because this podcast is about hemming.
It's about marking hems. Okay.
Not mirroring, hemming. But it's nice to have a mirror if you're hemming.
It is. It is nice to have a mirror.
We can segue.
We
can segue. That's one thing we can do.
It's good to have a mirror if you're just doing it for yourself or for someone else.
I really don't like to mark something unless I can see. I want to see someone in the mirror, and I like them to see themselves in the mirror.
Great.
Both.
So we did do, just in case you are interested, if you're a Zigzag member, the Zigzag member November video was all about marking alterations, and so we went into a little bit more detail about some other things, and we did very visual, of course, stuff in the video, but
so now we're going to try to talk about it and give you a visual image, right?
Let's not be too good. They should join the Zigzaggers,
oh, that's true.
Right? No, I'm kidding. So we're just going to talk about marking hems, though, today on the podcast. But if you are interested in something a little bit more in depth and interested in hearing Mom open a Coke can.
Pop. Okay.
There we go.
First thing you do when you mark a hem is you open your can.
You open a can. Yeah. All right. So what was this number one alterations rule that we discussed?
Well, number one, the hem should be marked on the person.
The garment should be on the person.
Right. You measuring a garment and then measuring, this is how long the hem, and these being like not connected to the person. There's things drape and fall of fabric, sorts of things. Now, maybe they don't count so much on some things.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
But if you want to look your best,
Put the garment on. Now, I'm not saying we haven't improvised or we haven't,
especially if there's like something, it's like a long distance or
yeah.
Now, a lot of times in a long distance circumstance, what I have done and asked for that measurement, which is hollow to hem, which is that hollow in your neck to the hem, which would, like on a dress, would be to the floor or the knee or below the knee or wherever you want. And I would make the dress like 3 or 4 inches longer.
Great, yeah.
And then I would finish the dress and mail it across the country or the globe or whatever and hope that someone else on the other side is going to hem it.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so put the garment on the wearer if at all possible, everybody.
Yes.
That's
and they should have on the type of shoe that they're going to wear that garment with, and they should have on the type of undergarment. Now, if it's a pair of jeans, the underpants might not matter that much. You might be able to hem it with or without underpants, right?
Yeah.
But, if it's definitely a dress or something that needs a more constructed undergarment, or that's your plan is to wear a more constructed undergarment, then you should have that on.
Also, sometimes certain people are wearing like suit pants and they're going to wear them with heels. Or I know I'm going to wear these jeans with flats all the time.
Well,
or these or da.
And nowadays it makes a big difference with men, and it didn't used to, because I don't know if you've ever seen, a cross trainer or a running shoe has this big, huge sole on it now.
You think those
Okay?
sports shoes are just real thicker
Well,
than they
they're
used to
really
be?
high, and
Uh-huh.
if they're trying on a dress trouser that
Uh-huh.
they're going to wear their wingtips with, can be an inch difference
In the sole.
So
Good point.
so what you don't want is them in their wingtips with their dress trousers scraping on the asphalt.
Yeah.
So it makes more difference with men now than I feel it used to, because just of the construction of shoes.
Okay. Yeah.
We're used to, I just say, put your shoes on.
Yeah.
But now, like I said, I mean, I know, your dad, he's got these shoes and they have these like big wedge heels.
Cushions and
Yeah,
stuff.
they're full of air and pockets
And
and
gel
stuff.
and
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, all that marketing crap
All
that
that
probably
whatever.
nobody really needs.
Springs and exactly.
Although he's very happy with them. So
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got the garment on the wearer, and then with pants, well, and like with everything, okay,
Right.
this is all really subjective.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
And sometimes it's a trend.
yes, and I just want to empower people. There are some guidelines you'll read that, like on some dress pants, that they should break on the shoe.
Break on
which
the
means
shoe, right.
There's like a little bit of a fold to the
Right.
hem on the shoe.
So actually the front of the pant touches the shoe.
right.
And it winds up the break being sort of like, where it doesn't fall straight.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because, and well, I don't know if this is why, but what I imagine is then when the person sits down in these
Right.
pants, they aren't too short.
It used to be you didn't want to see the sock.
Right.
Or you weren't the sock was supposed to be considered almost an undergarment,
Sure.
a supportive
Don't want
garment.
to see those sexy ankles. I
Those
also
hot ankles.
those
You got any ankle freaks out there? Anyway.
okay. All right, Mom. That escalated quickly. So if you
Don't tell me you didn't go there too. Oh,
whatever. I also, when I'm hemming my own pants, especially when I'm hemming my own pants, because I have to bend over to
Right.
pin them, I'll like walk around in them
Yep.
and sit down
Yes.
and stand up.
Yes.
So
Uh-huh.
you can let your client do this a little bit.
I will actually, like when I mark my jeans, say, or something, or my pants, sometimes I will put my foot like up on a little footstool and mark the hem and then put my foot down, and sometimes it's right.
Purchasers of the made to measure leggings class know this because there's video of you doing that. Actually,
There's a great video there of showing you how to measure your leg as one, your
outseam and
your
inseam
outseam,
and
yeah,
I guess we don't
as
measure
being
that.
one person, the
Yes.
outseam, right?
So yeah, you can move around. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm standing up straight. There's the hem
Right.
done. You can let the person move around a little bit. Every garment should be marked. Okay, this is something that used to happen to me. Someone would bring in a pair of pants. Say, I'm just going to try on one of these.
Yeah.
Okay,
Doesn't work.
it's just a risk.
Even if they
a
bought
risk.
it off the same rack in the same place,
Yep.
it is. Can't you just measure it from this one?
Mm-hmm.
Or here, I brought in my husband's jeans. Just mark this leg from this leg. Well, first of all, it won't be the same garment.
Yeah.
And it'll be a garment he's worn to death.
Right.
And now they've got a brand new pair of, jeans that aren't out of shape or anything. And you're like, I can't guarantee that. Well, do it anyway. And I'll tell you what, if they want you to do it anyway, you say, then you write that out for me and sign it.
Mm-hmm.
Because inevitably they will bring it back to you and go, well, these are longer than the ones I brought in. And I mean, I used to, if they really insisted,
Right.
I would say, write that out for me that you will be happy, if I do it this way.
Yeah, and we're really covering our butts here. It might work sometimes.
Yeah.
It truly might, but sometimes it doesn't.
I have hemmed things for people maybe that were like in wheelchairs.
Mhm.
When they said, my husband's in a wheelchair, these are his sweatpants, it just needs 2 inches taken off.
Okay.
Okay, that was usually okay.
I've had people who would say, I just want 2 inches off all these pants. And I'm
Right.
like, I write down on the ticket, 2 inches off the pants.
And you have them sign it.
All right.
And
Ta-da.
then you save what you cut off.
That's right. There you
Okay?
go. Ooh.
I almost always saved
Evidence.
what I cut off the garment.
Oh.
Okay? Because I didn't want it this short. And I'd say, we folded it up 2 inches
Mm-hmm.
and this is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. So, the garment needs to be on the wearer. Every garment should be tried on. I'm thinking about how I am going to be marking Derek's pants this evening.
Well,
Also,
some garments should be pre-washed.
I was just going to say that, Mom.
Really? Oh, look, let's mirror each other.
We should do that acting exercise.
Yeah.
You all can't see us, but we're miming.
We're miming each other.
Mirroring. And in the case of my husband's pants that I will be marking this evening, they have been pre-washed many, many, many times because I have put off hemming them for. He bought them when I was pregnant with Jerome.
Yeah, and Jerome's over a year old.
And well, I remember it being like, I'm not hemming your pants right now.
the way I would do jeans is, I don't know what that was. It's the set out of my ring again. Anyway, actually, it was an embroidery hoop. I think I kicked it off.
I think I did.
Oh,
okay. Anyway,
we were mirroring each other, and we both kicked it off. Anyway, jeans, what I would do is I would launder them as hot as I possibly thought I would ever launder them, and I would dry them as hot as I ever thought. Because I swear, jeans do continue to shrink over time.
If they have
just a little bit.
The high cotton content.
Yep.
In fact, stretchy jeans seem not to shrink as much.
No, they're not as bad. They're not nearly as bad as they used to be.
Content. Right. Yeah, exactly. So,
I don't know. Can you even get jeans without lycra in them anymore?
Derek,
I guess work club, maybe like a work. Yeah.
Derek wears like these cargo pants to work.
Right.
They're sort of like a slack, but they are, like an athletic, or like they're like a hiking pant almost. Yeah. He's an art
like
teacher.
A cargo pant.
He can get away with
kind
it.
of thing.
You know, yeah. So, I think pre-washing is a really good idea.
Yeah.
And if you are hemming for someone else who is not pre-washed, you could maybe err on the side of like just a little bit longer.
Give them a quarter inch or a half inch.
Something like that. That would be okay. All right, so it's on the person. And you don't have to get fancy, all right? You just fold the pants up. Right. So like the right side of the fabric is toward the right side. You're just rolling that up.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're rolling it up 2 inches or 6 inches, like our pants. But
minimum of 4 for me.
You're rolling that up, so you might roll it up a whole bunch and then slide it down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like you're unrolling like a sock or something, and get that fit. Get it to lay nicely. If it's laying straight, if you're getting a little break.
And I like to do what you're saying. Fold it up like right side to right side versus folding it up under. I feel like when you fold it up under, you get some bulk and it doesn't hang as well.
And you only have to fold it once. I've seen people who are like trying to fold it like they're hemming it.
Only fold it once.
You're only looking for that fold, like where that end.
Right, that one edge.
Yeah, that edge where your edge of your pants are going to be. Right. That's all you need.
And you only need to do this on one leg.
Well, before we get to that, okay?
Right.
Let's. What do you use to mark this hem?
Everything's falling apart here.
Zede just broke a thread lift.
Apart. That thread lift.
This is the thread lift I don't like.
Okay, I'm gonna put some glue in that sucker.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay, this should have been videoed, I guess.
This would have been a much better video.
We've got some visual things going on. All right.
Okay.
What do you use to mark these?
Okay, so what should you have at your hand, right? You should have some sort of chalk or something you can mark on your garment with. You should have straight pins and or I like safety pins.
Just own it. Be like, I have safety pins.
I have safety. Well, sometimes though, you may want a straight pin depending on what's going on.
But I think people don't often think of safety pins in this case.
And you want those big hawker safety pins, the big huge ones.
You don't want no little
They're like
gold ones.
What? Are they 1.5, 2 inch safety pins?
I don't know. I'm terrible.
I don't know. I guess we could measure them.
Things.
But they're big ones. Like they almost look like what we used to call diaper pins.
And these are sharp.
They're sharp, and if they're not sharp, and if they don't go through the fabric the first time you try, you pitch it.
Trash it.
Yep. If that goes with any pen, any needle, anything that's supposed to be sharp. If it's not, pitch it. So I secure every alteration marking like that with a safety pin, unless it's something I need to mark with
chalk. How many safety pins do you need on a pant leg?
I use 3. Okay. So use one in the front, one in the back, and one on the outer side seam.
Outseam. Okay.
Now, sometimes there's not an out seam, and you may want to do it on the inseam, but I prefer then I might actually use 4.
Okay.
If I had like a palazzo pants,
Yeah.
I may use more, but that's almost like doing a skirt almost.
Yeah, it's almost skirt-like.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, they might be a little taller in the front, a little lower in the back, depending on
Well,
the wearer's preference.
I rarely cut a pair of pants off straight.
Right.
Almost always I have them lower in the back, and that is how people like them.
Yeah.
They like it to break on the shoe in the front, and usually it's about a ½ inch difference. Now, I have done as much as like an inch.
Yeah.
Okay, but usually the front of the hem and the back of the hem, there is a ½ inch difference for me.
That's good to know. All right, so you've marked this with safety pins. They've moved around. Maybe they've sat down. You've only done this on one leg, though, right?
Only one leg.
Oh.
And they have 2 legs, and I've only done it on
Okay,
one.
that's a good qualifier. Yes, this person
Because
is...
I have a friend that doesn't have any legs.
If you don't have legs, or if you only have one leg,
you don't
have
even
to worry.
have to measure hers. You just say, where would you like these?
That's right. There you go. There you go. Okay, so what do we do? Okay. Do we just mark one leg and take the pants off?
Not exactly.
Okay. We'll pause for
But
a
I
message.
am only going to mark one leg, and we'll tell you about what happens after the break. Hey, Mal.
Hey, Mom.
I heard you were easy.
Oh, no.
What does that mean?
No, it means I think what you really heard was, well, Mallory, your easy tee looks so good on you.
Oh,
Yes.
I should have known
If
that it was
you're-
something about something you made.
Like you said, you're getting into your golden years. Sometimes, mishearing things. It happens.
No, you're
right?
the one that mishears things. I know this. You make lapel pins about it.
Okay, so I am currently wearing an Easy Tee, and I wear them all the time. The Easy Tee is a semi-fitted, short-sleeve T-shirt made out of a woven fabric, and you draft the Easy Tee to fit your measurements by taking the Easy Tee class.
Well, how do I take this class?
It's an online class that you can watch anytime on SewHere.com. To purchase the class, go to SewHere.com/EasyT. That's just EASYT.
Is this on my computer?
It's on your computer. It's on your phone. It's on your iPad. The class is divided up into short, easily consumable segments, some of which you may not ever need to watch ever again, but some of which you might want to revisit. So you have the ability to mark lessons as completed and also to star lessons so you can go back and revisit the ones that are most important to you.
And I can vouch, Mallory's Easy Tee is a lot easier than Mallory is.
Once again, go to SewHere.com/EasyT to begin your pattern drafting journey. Sewing out loud. And we're back. After Mom tried to interrupt, she was like,
Sam, I think we're being funny.
Mallory's got this smooth segue. I'll mess it up.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so why are we not going to safety pin the other hem?
Because we're actually going to give ourselves what I call a reference mark on both legs.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to give ourselves this reference mark. How do we do that?
Okay, well, first of all, one of the other tools you'll probably need is at least a 12-inch ruler. I think an 18-inch ruler might be a better idea, or 15-inch ruler is good too. Or a hem marking tool ruler. We've shown those before.
I'll put a link to those in
Put
the
a link to those.
show notes.
And you are going to have the person stand up.
Yep.
Pretty much casually, not straight,
Right.
but casual. Don't let them scrunch their shoulders and do all that stuff. Make sure they're
Occasionally when I'm hemming things
Yeah.
for people, they go real wide with their feet.
Well,
I'm like, I
are they-
don't need you to do
they
that.
do that,
Yeah.
and they will scrunch their shoulders forward, and I'm like, who told you to
So
do
just
that?
tell them to relax.
Yeah, but anyway, make sure they're in a good standing position. That's they're erect, but relaxed, and you are going to mark the back of the pant, and here's where your chalk or your safety pin comes in.
Okay.
Okay. If I'm not going to transport these, I'll probably just use chalk.
Okay.
Okay. So what I do is from the floor, I pick sort of an arbitrary spot in sort of the middle of their calf
Yeah,
someplace.
yeah.
Okay. That's why I can't tell you what
How
size
tall.
ruler to use, right?
'Cause everybody's different.
Right. So it's generally somewhere between like 10 and 15 inches, I would say. But like on me, it probably could be 6 and it would work. But anyway, so you're going to mark a line on one leg of those pants.
Yep.
Right?
And let's pretend it's at 11 inches.
It's at 11 inches.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to go over to the other pant leg, which is hanging nice and loose. And I may have folded it up so it would hang and not stack up on their foot.
I'm so glad you said that.
Okay.
Yeah, you want the other pant leg hanging freely as well.
It can be hanging freely high.
Right.
If it wants, but you want it hanging freely and not stacked up on the floor, right? Or the shoe.
And you're going to mark a mark on the back of the other calf.
Exactly.
At that level.
11.
That
11
11
inches.
inches.
That 11 inches or whatever, 22 centimeters, whatever whatever. Or an arbitrary stick.
Yeah, if you just have
with
a stick,
mark on it.
it just needs to be the same. So
Yes.
what this does is this can take care of disparities between the two,
the hip or the height of the
legs.
foot or
whatever.
what
it
have
can
you.
also take care of any like human issue that you may have with like if you mark one hem and you mark another hem and then you get
Right.
Oh my gosh, what's going on?
Because it's very difficult to
Right.
make them right. You especially on a pant leg. How do you make each pant leg be even? When they're two different things, and
So the point is,
it's an art, not a science, too.
yeah. The point is, when you take these pants off the customer or off of yourself, and you go to cut off the
Right.
excess, which
Right.
you've got your hem allowance, etc. You line up that reference line.
That's right.
That you made with chalk or you made with a safety pin.
Right. And, I'm going to bring this up here because there's probably some people that there are other reasons for pants having to fit a little bit differently other than, bone imbalance or tissue imbalance or something. Someone could have like a gastrointestinal implants, like a bag they wear or something under their pants or a catheter or something. And it might take up one of the legs.
A little bit of room, yeah.
Yeah. So, they might need that. So, they're already wanting to make that inconspicuous. So let's keep it inconspicuous for them.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay, so then you have this. Now, you did this a little bit different in the broadcast. I cheat, I guess. So you lay the pants out on your cutting table, and you lay them out like you were going to crease a front and back crease, right? Like the inseams are lined up.
Yeah, this mark is basically like where your back crease or
it's in the center.
Vertical fold would be. Right.
So you're lining up those inseams, but then you get down there to your reference mark and you line that up. So if there's a disparity there,
right.
Now you'll know. You'll
know.
see.
Right.
You line those up, and I pin. Or when I'm teaching this, at least, I would tell people to pin through those reference lines.
You pin the reference things together?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't do it
Now,
anymore.
the reason I pin especially is because of this like little shortcut that I like to take. So the leg that's on top, that's like closest to me,
right.
Okay, is the one that has been pinned. All right. And like we said, it's been folded to, that edge of the pant.
I do it the other way.
I know. Okay. It's been folded so that the edge of the pant, that's going to be the edge we want. Okay.
Right.
We just need the hem allowance added onto that. So I make sure everything is nice and smooth. And then let's say I'm going to add like a 2-inch hem allowance. I just lay my ruler on top of that fold. And, I stagger it down 2 inches. And then I rotary cut the other leg that has not been pinned. So the other leg is, hemmed length plus 2 inches for my 2-inch hem allowance. Then I'll unpin other leg, the hem marking, okay, not the reference line pin. I lay that out flat, I flip it over, and then I trim to meet the other one.
And so what she's doing is she is cutting it from the other one she already cut.
Right.
She's not measuring or anything. She's using the other leg as a pattern.
And
that's your best bet.
That's a really good idea.
You can also cut them at the same time. Now, generally that's difficult if it's like on a jean.
Yeah.
You also need to make sure that there's no folds, that it's out really flat if you're cutting both at the same time. I hate to say this. It seems like it's
happened to me before.
Well, it also seems like common sense, but it happens.
Well, and a lot of times, so say you did give yourself like a 2-inch hem allowance.
Right.
Maybe the fold can get hidden.
Right.
But if you've got a shorter hem allowance and you don't have that much room,
Right.
maybe it doesn't get hidden. Let's pretend that this person only needs like half an inch taken up off these pants. What do you have to do, Mom?
A lot of times you're going to have to take out the original hem.
Okay.
Okay.
In order to
Fold
get that
it- and
fabric.
Fold it down because you're just going to wind up with too much bulk. You can't like refold. You can't fold in the hem that's already there.
Right.
And think you're going to have something that looks reasonable.
We have a podcast called How We Hem Jeans.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Okay.
And it talks about choosing thread, about how to not use top stitch thread if you don't want to.
Right.
It talks about our special little tips for reducing bulk.
Yep.
Yeah. So we need to link to that as well. That's one of our early episodes.
And whenever I used to teach that, people would go crazy. And I honed that particular method over about 20 years. I mean, I started out I kept adding and adding and adding till finally I got down to, this is how you match these bizarre color threads.
Now, Sam and I outlined some videos today that we're going to do, and one of them actually is this pants marking technique.
Yeah,
and then
we need to. Yeah.
And the other is that hemming of the jeans, And at first I think, it's really not that many steps. It's not that big of a deal. But then I'm like, no, there's a lot of thought and justification and reasoning as to why we do it that way.
There is. It's simple.
Uh-huh.
It is simple, and it makes a lot of sense, but there's a reason for each of those steps.
Yes.
That makes you very... And, I have had people say, and then when you wash them, they come out just right. And I'm like, yeah, because oftentimes someone will hem a pair of jeans, and they look okay, and then they get washed, laundered and dried, and they scrunch up and look awful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is out there on the internet how to maintain the original hem, and I just want to let y'all know.
Sigh.
There's a lot of people that have credentials behind their name that use this. I think it doesn't work. There is only one.
Well, let's just talk about it. I think we might have covered this maybe. But
I think we
fine.
probably
we
did.
Talk about it again.
But first of all, it only works if the leg of the jean remains exactly the same circumference.
So the issue
from where it's originally hemmed up to where you want to hem it.
Right. So the issue here is like preserving this factory
It's preserving this factory hem. Okay. And my method teaches you how to do a factory hem. Now, the other reason I have seen this done is for a while it was a real trend to have these fancy hems at the bottom or laser cut hems at the bottom.
Yeah.
Some sort of wild kind of hem at the bottom that was decorative. But that doesn't even work that well if you're if it's not the same circumference. It's not going to work.
Yeah, Zede and I, when we buy a pair of pants, if we buy a pair
we
of
know the
pants,
bottom's coming off.
On my ginger jeans, I'm hemming like, I don't know, 5 inches off of them.
Okay, on a commercial pant pattern, I can just whack off 4 inches before I even cut them.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
or whack them or fold it up or however I decide to.
Yeah.
But I arbitrarily know they're 4 inches too long, which means I have another 2 inches probably that I can hem.
So moving that hem up, what you do is you fold it like right sides together, and you stitch very close to the factory hem, and then you cut away your excess. I've seen people like kind of secure that edge in different ways and things like that. But if the circumference doesn't match up, you're out of luck.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Also, I've seen that scrunch up.
I've seen them scrunched
the
up and look
laundry.
terrible.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what happens when
the
they try
grain is, like,
they
off.
try and get that original hem and they move it up. That's the same thing that happens. You wind up with 2 laundered, crocked hems.
Right. So, crocked. There's that word again.
Crocked is a line in your fabric that you do not want.
That you can't
get out. It
has
been folded in, or the light has hit it, or somehow it's in your fabric and you cannot disguise it or get it out.
I remember you saying that a few episodes back, and it's like I'd heard it before.
Yeah.
But I hadn't used it.
So that hem is just a big crock, okay?
It's a crock.
It's a crock of hem.
If you've used it before and you loved it, great.
Yeah, if you like it. But I have had people that used it. I have taught them alternate ways, and they're happier with the alternate way.
When you got a few pairs of jeans to hem, like I do for my husband, and you get going,
Oh,
boom,
you can
boom,
do
boom.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. Is
Wham,
right.
bam.
Right.
Also, preserving a factory hem, I think, if we're just talking about like a top stitched hem here,
Yeah.
it's a little overrated, first of all.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
our
Yeah.
tech.
I want it to be the exact thread. Who's getting down there?
Right,
Again, we're
exactly.
talking about fetishes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, your jeans hem fetishes. You should check out that How We Hem Jeans podcast, though. It's really good for getting that look of the top stitching. Truly, a hem that's in the appropriate place is what's going to make your garment look inconspicuous, attractive, not, if you've got the factory hem on your jeans and they're 6 inches too long, somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, those pants are too long."
All squirreled up and crocked around
Right.
your leg. They're not going to look right either. So let's talk about when you're hemming. We've been on pants, so we'll stay on pants, I guess.
I think that this is just going to be pants.
It's going to be pants.
We're
okay.
like at 30 minutes.
So how much do I know to fold up?
I don't know.
What hem allowance do I want?
Okay, we have not even. Okay, hold on a second. We haven't defined hem allowance.
Right.
Yeah. So hem allowance is what gets folded up underneath.
That's correct.
Okay. It might just get folded once. It might get folded twice, depending on what kind of pants. Like jeans, we fold twice. Some pants
a jean type, I would say,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyway,
and
go
it gets
on.
top stitched.
And it gets top stitched.
Usually that's folded twice is top stitched.
And then there are blind hems.
And then there's blind hems that's like a trouser or a more dress pant or maybe a lighter pant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now the big palazzo pants or what do they call them now too? They the yoga pants with the big legs. They have the big almost
harem
pleated
pants?
legs. So, I think a harem pants has that little.
I don't know what you're talking
But anyway, they have a big flowy leg set.
Yeah.
A lot of times that is a tiny hem.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you don't want to fold up on that because you really don't want it to appear it has a hem almost.
Right.
So we have a podcast about tiny hems, don't we?
Or we have a video at least.
Or a video. I know we have a video.
Which
yes,
is good.
I know we have a video because I remember doing
Yeah,
it.
so sometimes if you have that big wide leg pant made of woven fabric.
Right, and I'm talking like a flowy pant.
Flowy, yeah.
Something that you're not wanting to add sort of a weighted hem to. Okay.
I definitely wore teal palazzo pants in high school. They were all the rage. I don't know if anybody else born in the late 80s, early 90s has these memories, but they were a knit.
Well, or even pajama
palazzo
pants a lot of times will require a pajama pant. You might put a tiny hem in, or you might put a jean hem in that is folded up and top stitched.
But let's talk a little bit about that trouser dress pant.
Let's talk about a trouser. And a
Da-da-da.
trouser can be lined.
Uh-huh.
So what do you do about that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I have never made a pair of lined pants.
Really?
No.
Oh, well.
It does not sound like it's
Or you may get a pair of
No.
lined pants you need to hem. So if I was doing a trouser, say lightweight wool or poly maybe or something, I would probably fold it up an inch or an inch and a half. And one of the things that might determine that is, does the leg change its width?
Okay.
Okay, because if it changes its width greatly and quickly, I might do a shorter hem because it will be easier for me to turn it up and keep it nice and flat.
Right.
Okay? So how would I finish that hem? The way I would finish that hem nowadays is I would serge the edge of that fabric.
Right.
Okay? I would do a 3-thread narrow. Those of you who have a 4-thread in your machine and you have a machine you hate to
rethread, go
just,
ahead.
Just give it a 4th
You're
thread.
just finishing it
You're not
off.
going to add that
Yeah.
much bulk. And I would want it to match the fabric color.
Yeah.
So I would just do that. And then, okay, I would pin up my hem.
Mm-hmm.
I would not press it.
Okay.
Listen to me. I would not press it. Okay? And then I would hem it. And the way there are several ways to blind hem it, right?
When I blind hemmed those trousers, those tux pants
Uh-huh.
for Sweeney Todd, and I didn't press the hem in, okay, it was just beautiful. I
Right.
pinned them in 4 places.
Right.
I cannot believe how much easier it was not to be dealing with all that
Right.
stuff.
So you can use a blind hem on your sewing machine.
That's what I did because I don't know how to use the blind hem machine.
blind hem on your serger.
Yeah.
You can use a blind hem machine, my favorite machine for short people Well, for short-legged people. I have one. Or you can do a hand-lined hem.
Okay.
Okay? And all those will work. And if you want to crisp press it later. After you
Afterward.
put that in. Now, I have not, if I have a hemmed pant, I have not included it. Okay? The hem is not included yet. What I will do is I will cut my hem about a ½ inch shorter, say. Okay? And I will fold it up wrong side to wrong side so that basically if I looked at the inside of the pant, right, I would have a finished hem and would not see the hem allowance. It would be up against the inside of my pant,
Right.
correct?
Right.
Okay, and I would hem it basically the same way. Or I might top stitch it.
Yeah, and so these
And
heavier,
it is separate from the leg of the pant.
right. These I said heavier, that's not what I meant. These lighter weight fabrics, they might require a bit more of a hem for that weight, or conversely, an itty bitty tiny hem.
You can do a tiny hem, and like I said, sometimes you can serge it and turn it up and top stitch it.
But if you picture a pair of work trousers that are made of like a lightweight wool or a lightweight wool poly blend. Okay, now picture like a jeans hem put on those, like 3/4 and 3/4, then top stitch.
From the inside.
It would be like too concentrated of a bulk. Okay, there. That's why that hem's not appropriate. So that's why there are different hems for different types of garments.
So once I hem that lining, then what I am going to do is I'm going to chain tack, okay, my trousers, the inseam to the inseam, the outseam to the outseam.
Okay.
Inside my trousers. So that will be up about a ½ inch on my lining, which means it'll be an inch up.
Yeah.
Right? On my trouser lining. So you want to make sure that hem isn't going to peek out.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
I think earlier you misspoke and you said a hemmed pair of pants and you meant a lined pair of pants.
Oh, I did. Okay.
So if anybody else got a little confused, I think you just used the wrong word there. So Mom was
right.
talking about a lined pair of pants.
So this is a lined pair. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
This is a lined pair of pants. But they need, they are hemmed separately.
The lining
sort
hemmed.
of treat them like two different pants, and one is inside, the other. So another way that you can determine how much to fold up is if these are ready-made pants.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
You just want to mimic how they've already been done. And you can learn a lot by looking at some ready-made garments.
Absolutely.
And if you ever have to take something apart in a ready-made garment to alter it, pay attention. And Mallory says, take pictures. You will learn a lot. Okay. If you're using a pattern, they will suggest if you're, using this fabric or that fabric,
right.
and they will suggest, an inch or an inch and a half or whatever. They will let you know.
That's a good thing to follow too. I think generally, I don't see that particular piece of information messed up a lot in patterns, I guess is what I'm saying.
The other thing that a pattern will have you do oftentimes is if it's a tapered leg, it will have you, bring the hem out wider.
Yeah, it'll look
now,
like
the thing is it never works because once you try them on, that hem.
Then you got to change it anyway.
You're going to have to change it.
Absolutely.
But you can do that too.
Now, one thing we haven't covered today is like knit pant hems, like cover stitches and stuff like that. But, it's kind of like finishing any knit, and the marking process will be the same.
Yes, the marking process is
so if you're like,
the same.
what if I have yoga pants or leggings or something? Yeah.
Now, yoga pants, you might not want them longer in the back than in the front.
Sure.
Okay. I don't.
Or I kind of like, with legging, like I like a little scrunch at my ankle.
A lot of people like that scrunch
Some
at the
people
bottom
don't.
of the ankle, right?
I do.
A lot of people like to be able, if they have a yoga pant, to bring it over their heel.
You're also doing you can do movement in your leggings that you wouldn't do in other garments.
That's right.
So like I want extra stretch.
Right.
I want extra fabric there to keep it, from riding up when I'm doing the splits all over the place in my leggings.
Yeah, man, when you're doing that.
When I'm doing that. All right. Well, that was marking hems for pants. We didn't go into hemming, but the marking is itself its own art, I believe. So I'm glad that
Yeah,
we got to
it
cover
is.
this. Yeah. Well, you can find us on Instagram. We are at SoHereCom. You can email me at Mallory@SoHere.com. And Mom, take it away.
So long and so happy.
Thanks for listening to Sewing Out Loud. For even more expert sewing advice, visit sewhere.com.